Man, this would be an unexpected and strange situation, but could Acaden Lewis land on Coach Pitino's team? There's something deeply strange and almost ironic about the fact that Acaden Lewis, a player who was once considered part of the future of the Kentucky Wildcats under Mark Pope, is now being linked to Rick Pitino and St. John's. For BBN fans, this possibility carries an emotional and symbolic weight that goes beyond the simple act of a player choosing another program. It's as if the universe is playing a peculiar trick on fate, connecting past and present in a disconcerting way. First, it's important to remember that Rick Pitino is not just a former Kentucky coach. He's an iconic, but also controversial, figure in the program's history. His legacy in Lexington is undeniable. He led the Wildcats to a Final Four in 1993 and a national championship in 1996 and revitalized the school's basketball during his tenure. However, his departure was marked by attrition and controversial decisions, leaving a mix of admiration and resentment among fans. Now, decades later, the idea of a player who was destined to wear the blue and white ending up in Pitino's hands at another program seems like an almost surreal turn of events. For Mark Pope, this situation adds a touch of bitter irony. He is trying to carve out his own identity as head coach at Kentucky, molding a roster that reflects his vision of the game and his style of leadership. The loss of Lewis was already a significant blow to his plans, but the possibility of him bolstering a team led by Pitino, someone who represents both the pinnacle and shadows of the Wildcats' recent past, seems like a strange thing. And then there's the prospect of BBN, whose fervent passion for Kentucky basketball is well known across the country. For fans, seeing a highly rated player like Lewis, who had previously pledged his loyalty to the program, flirt with the idea of playing for Pitino is an uncomfortable experience. Pitino, for all his accomplishments at Kentucky, is also seen by many as the coach who left under difficult circumstances. The idea that he could now recruit a player who was once considered for Kentucky and use him to bolster his program is something that is unsettling. Lewis, a dynamic point guard who seemed to fit perfectly into the modern basketball mold that Pope has now stepped down from, could be coached by Pitino, a coach known for adapting his style as the game evolves. Kentucky basketball has always been a program that attracts top talent, but it has also faced some upheaval in recruiting in recent years. Lewis's departure and possible move to St. John's is a reminder that in today's college basketball world, nothing is guaranteed. Players can change their minds. Coaches can reappear in unexpected scenarios, and storied programs can be put in uncomfortable situations by forces beyond local control. For Pope and BBN, watching this potential turnaround will likely be an experience that oscillates between discomfort, bewilderment, and perhaps even a hint of admiration for the unpredictability of the sport they love so much. But Pitino will not stop being loved by BBN. Jaden Quaintance's arrival at Kentucky is a shot of hope and talent for a program that is already showing signs of promise under Mark Pope. However, as is often the case in the sports world, the excitement of welcoming a five-star recruit comes with inevitable questions about his fitness. After all, Quaintance is recovering from a torn ACL, an injury that could be devastating for any athlete, especially one with such lofty aspirations as his. But from recent updates, it seems there is reason for optimism. Quaintance, once one of the most coveted prospects in the 2024 class, has been open about his rehabilitation and timetable for returning to action. During an interview with KSR on Wednesday, he made it clear that things are progressing well beyond initial expectations. The rehab is going really well, he said, noting that the healing is proceeding as planned, the swelling is going down, and the muscle strengthening, especially in the quadriceps, which is essential to support the injured knee, is progressing quickly. These statements are a relief for both fans and the coaching staff, who can now look forward to his contribution next season. The young winger also revealed that the plan is to return to contact activities by September, a significant milestone for any athlete who undergoes ACL surgery. While the exact date of his return will depend on several factors, including the continued progress of his rehabilitation and how his body responds to training, Quaintance sounded confident when he said he expects to be ready for the season opener. Absolutely, he replied when asked about his initial availability, a statement that puts a positive spin on Mark Pope's plans. This confidence is not only a reflection of his resilient mindset, but also his dedication to the recovery process. He noted that he has now achieved more than 120 degrees of flexibility in his affected knee, an encouraging indicator that movement is being restored properly. Additionally, early muscle strengthening is crucial to prevent re-injury and ensure he can return to the performance level that made him a star before the incident. While Quaintance is ahead of schedule, college basketball is a competitive environment where the fast pace and physical impacts put extreme pressure on the body. Any rush to return could jeopardize his long-term health, something neither the player nor Kentucky's medical staff want to risk. For the Wildcats, Quaintance's potential return to the roster represents more than just statistical numbers or roster depth. He is a versatile player who can create plays, score, and defend multiple positions, qualities that could be key to Mark Pope's system. His presence on the court could help balance the team, providing additional tactical options and easing the burden on other key players. Additionally, his previous experience and reputation as one of the top recruits in his class bring a sense of excellence that can inspire his teammates. If all goes according to plan, Jaden Quaintance's debut in a Kentucky uniform could mark the beginning of a new era for the program. He has the potential to become a central piece in Mark Pope's project, helping to rebuild the Wildcats' competitive identity. And while there is always uncertainty associated with serious injuries, the way Quaintance is approaching his rehab provides a sense of calm and confidence that he will be ready to shine when the time is right. It remains to be seen how Quaintance fits into the roster and whether his optimistic predictions come true. If it's up to BBN, it will certainly be all right. What do you think? Comment below.